Hi, I'm Jamie Smart, and welcome to another Clarity Pro case study. And I'm joined today by a coach and trainer from Tasmania. And it's one of the wonders of technology that we're able to connect literally from opposite sides of the planet. Mr. Chris Jackson, it's great to have you with us. How are you doing, Chris?
Thank you for having me on, Jamie. It's an honor to be here. This is going to be good fun. Looking forward to sharing.
Yeah,
Thank
me
you.
too. And just to kind of set the frame for people, can you tell us a bit about your work and what sparked your interest in the principles?
Yeah, well, I've been working mainly with coaches, and I've been in the game now for about 5 years training coaches. And my background was in NLP and hypnosis and timeline therapy and that whole world, the the old world, as I know you're very familiar with. And so worked with a lot of coaches and therapists and meditation teachers and that kind of thing. And then, yeah, I've since discovered the principles, and everything in my reality has shifted completely. I've walked away from that whole entire industry. It doesn't make sense anymore. And I've since, thank you to everything that you've shared with me. That's played a significant role in allowing me to have so much confidence that there's so much more powerful, transformative way to impact humans. So I've certainly got that from the principles. So yeah, I know there's a lot there. There's a lot that I've got from it, but yeah, it's mainly now working with coaches, sharing the principles. Really, yeah, that's my business model shifted to.
And what kind of form does that take? Like what kind of things are you working on with people, and what kind of impact is it having?
It's having a far more profound impact than any of the stuff I did in my NLP days. That's for sure. I'm working with a whole range of different clients, and I'm bringing together business coaching, but also an understanding of the principles together. So I'm working with a lot of coaches that are, I guess, the principles are just this. It's like an atomic bomb that just collapses suffering. It's just you drop the principles, and it just creates impact in dimensions that I didn't even know were possible. Everything from releasing emotional trauma all the way through to giving people clarity on what their life's purpose is, all the way through to helping. I was working with a director the other day of a marketing company, and we originally started out working together on his relationship, and we dealt with that within the first session. That was pretty quick. And then after that, he realized that he wanted to become a transformational leader. So we ended up working on leadership. We pivoted pretty quickly. So with the principles, I've just discovered that the power of what we're working with, there's doors that get open that I didn't even know existed. So there's so much power in it.
The thing that's just struck me, Chris, is first of all, I love that aspect of it, that someone comes to you for one specific thing, you work on that dissolves, and all of a sudden a whole new world opens up for them. It's so cool. So I love that too. The thing I just realized, so you and I have been kind of connected for about a year, but what I don't know is kind of what sparked your interest in the principles and kind of when that journey started. So I'd love to hear about kind of your journey with the principles.
Yeah, well, I first of all had a session with my coach at the time, Kai Jordan, who also came through the Clarity program. And Kai did a session with me where I was dealing with quite a significant issue in my life at the time. And we had a simple conversation, and in about the space of 45 minutes, he'd shared it. We both created an insight where that dissolved. And I was so shocked at how something that was causing me so much suffering and discomfort. It was a relationship, a close relationship that broke down in a very unexpected way. And I felt like I'd been betrayed, and I was dealing with a lot of stuff, and that just dissolved. And as soon as that happened, I was like, what is this? What is this technology? What just happened? And ever since that moment, I said, what did you do, Kai? What is that? And he goes, yep, it's the principles. And I'm like, okay, what is, like, tell me more. Anyway, so ever since.
When was that?
This was in March. This was in March 2019.
Oh, okay. So not like 15 months ago or something. Not that long ago. Cool, man.
Yeah, it was, I think it was March. It must have been early. Yeah, it was March. So yeah, as soon as I discovered the principles, I was all in because I knew that there was some greater force that was going on that I didn't have access to. And then when I lent in and I discovered more and more, I started discovering people like yourself. And then, yeah, I was hooked. I realized that this was something, this was the next evolution of coaching. This was the next thing that I was looking for beyond NLP and beyond hypnosis, because I hit the ceiling with those modalities. I could only go so far. So yeah, I read your book, Little Book of Clarity, and then since then I then started following your stuff, and then yeah, saw Clarity coach training come up, and it just made sense. I was like, yeah, this is where the game's played. This is the next evolution. So it was obvious from there. Yeah.
And so how does it feel like, what, speaking to you as a coach who's working from this understanding with people, how does that feel different as the coach to how things used to be before?
Oh, completely differently. The way that I view my clients and the confidence that I've got, my confidence is, I describe my confidence now as rock solid,
Mhm.
because I, I know that my clients have innate mental health. I know that I don't have to do the heavy lifting anymore. I know that because I understand the science of transformation, I just need to get really good at pointing at the truth, and the truth does the heavy lifting for itself. So I'm so much more confident now working with clients, because I know that it doesn't matter what a client brings to me anymore. I know that I've got this. It's almost like a superpower. It's like, literally, it's like a secret weapon, where I know that I don't necessarily know exactly what my client's going to get, but what I am very, very certain that they're going to get is they're going to get a profound insight
Yeah.
in half an hour, 1 hour. They're going to get a really solid insight that's going to shift their reality. So I've got that level of confidence now, thanks to having a really solid grounding in the principles. So yeah, it's confidence. It really is confidence, and also value. Like, I know I can add massive value, and this might sound a little bit cocky, but I can kind of now compare myself with with the former version of myself when I was running NLP trainings, and I look back at what I used to do now, and I kind of laugh at it. I kind of
Mhm.
laugh. Like, I'm sure you kind of probably look back and laugh at that, which is what we're working with now is so much more powerful and profound, and it just feels much more aligned with the way that reality actually is. I'm actually working with the true nature of reality now, which just means I can create more impact for my clients, and I feel more connected. And it's more of a joy to coach from this space. So
I
it's a
find
totally different
exactly
reality.
Yeah, I find exactly the same thing. It's just so, it's kind of energizing and enjoyable and fun and all that, all the stuff I always hoped coaching would be. Now it
Mm.
is. It's very,
Mm.
very cool. Um, One of the things I was curious about is, so basically you woke up to the principles in March 2019. You joined Clarity Pro in July 2019. And I was just curious, uh, what I've seen a lot is there's a big difference between realizing something for yourself, which is brilliant, and being able to share it with others. How have you seen your journey of sharing this understanding with others develop over the last year or so?
Yeah, I think I shared the principles. I started sharing the principles as soon as I discovered them.
Uh-huh.
As soon as I didn't know much, but I literally like read one book, and I had a couple of sessions, and I was like, right, I'm sharing,
Yeah.
because it didn't make sense to share anything else. And admittedly, when I started sharing it was kind of clunky, and I had a lot of misunderstandings around the classic misunderstandings, as you do. But
Sure.
ever since then, I've just gotten more and more confidence sharing it, to the point where I started I started running a training, and I think it was probably partway through. I think it was literally 2 weeks into the training, I really started to get the principles.
Uh,
And it was a 12-week training, and the rest of the 10 weeks, I hit delete on the rest of the 10 weeks and said, right, I'm replacing this with principles based coaching and training. So yeah, it was just phenomenal, the way that it simplified everything that I did, to the point where I no longer had to really rehearse I no longer had to really figure stuff out in advance. I could now trust the wisdom that was unfolding. So now much more in the flow facilitation and just sharing what comes to mind. So less on my mind, less in my head, and yeah, very, very organic.
That's really cool. What's the kind of what's the kind of impact you're seeing with clients? What are some of the results you're seeing and the kind of difference you're making now?
I think the shift that I can make in my clients is my clients are definitely experiencing like massive identity shifts. So their whole entire purpose can come crashing down and get built back up in a more authentic way.
Mm-hmm.
My clients are seeing, they're seeing beyond a lifetime of suffering in some cases. They're tapping into the true essence of their being, and so they're showing up with more of there's like a connection to life. There's an acceptance. There's a real joy of going through the uncertainty of life. Now, instead of seeing life as this uncertain kind of horror story, it's now seeing the adventure in life and really seeing it as a blank canvas to create from. So I think it's really, there's not one area. It's really across the board. It feels like there is dimensions of impact that I'm not even aware of, but I know the ripples will keep happening.
Yeah.
Years, if not decades later on. So it's profound. It really is profound. But certainly money is a big one. My clients, I remember sharing, I shared one insight with a client in intake before I even started working with them. And they came back to me and they sent me a message saying they'd enrolled a client on a 6-month agreement. They'd never done that before. And they did it just from one tiny conversation. And so the potency of the principles just creates, I can create impact now in one session where it would have taken me probably 3 months. That's the level that we're working at.
That's so cool. I just had, given that you're working with coaches, one of the questions I had for you is, if someone comes to you and they're like, why should I learn the principles, or why should I, put time and energy and effort in deepening my understanding and that sort of thing? Because you're someone, Chris, who you joined Clarity Pro, you've done Clarity certification, so you clearly saw the value of investing in your learning and development and that sort of thing. What do you say to someone who's maybe kind of, what's so great about the principles, or as a coach, why should I learn them, and that sort of thing?
That they will revolutionize any coach's ability exponentially. Like it is like, I describe it as like, the principles is almost like blockchain technology. It's like this exponential technology exponentializes what's available.
That's a great way of putting it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's this technology that you build your business on. If you build a coaching practice on this technology, the leverage. I know we talk a lot about leverage in Clarity trainings, but the leverage just goes up because we're dealing with universal truths. We're dealing with the true nature of how life and reality is put together. So we're not dealing at the tactics level. We're not dealing with strategies and quick fixes. We're going deep to. It's an enlightenment model. It's like, if you're wanting the deepest understanding of what's actually going on in life, this is pointing to it. Yeah. And so the impacts are profound. So yeah, you'll be able to make so much more impact. Your value that you can provide your clients is going to go up exponentially. And I think more importantly, there's just this connection with life that now gets deepened and created that is beyond what was even fathomable, what was even beyond comprehension. So there's a connection with life that now unfolds because we're seeing the true nature of reality at a deeper level. So yeah, it's profound. It's a game changer. And I'd laugh at the old NLP world that I came from. I laugh I kind of laugh, and I think, but I'm also so grateful that I've discovered this. And so I'm incredibly thankful, Jamie, for everything you've put together here, because you've put together such an incredible program that's so well structured that just builds up progressively. So I feel like I've got rock solid confidence, and I can now pass that on to others as well. It's not just this intellectual thing.
I'm really glad you mentioned the journey, actually, because I think for a lot of people, they get impacted by this understanding. They're like, oh, that's amazing. And then I want to get this out there. And it seems to people often like it's kind of binary, like either you're getting it, you're sharing it, or you're not, that sort of thing. And I actually see it. Here's my dog-eared sheet of kind of the stages that we modeled out, the journey that people go on from being touched by this understanding to actually sharing it in an impactful way. And it is a journey. It is a journey. And well, here's the other question I'd love to ask you, Chris, is if you could give a message to the you that had woken up to the truth of this in March 2019, and a you that didn't yet know what the future held, what would your message to that you be?
I would say double down on this understanding, because it's going to give you more than you could ever dreamed of. It's the ticket. It's the ticket to getting what you want in your coaching business. But even more than that, it's a portal. It's a doorway for getting connected with the deepest creative intelligence behind life that exists, and harmonizing with it and working with it, and being connected with reality to be able to impact other people, but also extract the greatest gifts from life. It's a superpower.
I love it. I love it. What a great message. And like you, Chris, I just feel so grateful and fortunate to have stumbled across this understanding and to be in a position to share it with people, and working with so many amazing people, and also to see kind of the ripples that you mentioned going out into the world. Like, I share it with Kai shares it with you, you share it with the other coach. It's like, it's this incredible chain reaction that I'm seeing going on. So thank you so much for being part of it.
Thank you so much, Jamie. It's been an amazing journey, and it's still only just getting started. So
I know,
thank
right?
you so much.
Thanks, man. Thanks for being
Jamie.
here.
Thank you.
Bye.